I had to go get my other chain fixed, man, because I am missing not having one of my chains. I ain't really thought about it, man, until I guess a couple days ago. You know what I mean? I was thinking about it at first when the chain first broke. It was bothering me. You know what I mean? And then there was a part of it that was kind of like a little bit at ease this particular chain because it was like a choker. It was, you know what I'm saying, my most expensive piece. So it was like tight around the neck because I guess that's how they wear them nowadays. You know what I mean? So it was not a choker like choking me, but it was just tight. It wasn't. I'm an old nigga, so you know what I mean. With us old people, we had a chain hang down our dick still. You feel me? So this chain was, just a piece that I bought to, show off the fact that I, you know what I mean, I run a jewelry store, and if you want to get, you know what I mean, dope jewelry like this, nigga, you gotta come shop with us, kind of thing, you know what I mean? All right, but anyway, oh shit, I gotta get ready to handle my business, man. All right, but so what's happening is this here. I'm on my way to meet a bitch, but I'm gonna give y'all part of this promo, man. Before I do my 11 o'clock class, I'm gonna just let this bitch watch me do the 11 o'clock class. That's something I like doing, man. I like letting the bitch, you know what I mean, kind of soak up and watch her man walk on water. You know what I mean? If I was a basketball player, I would invite a bitch, you know what I'm saying, to the gym, to you know what I mean, to the Staples Center when I made it to the league, and you know what I mean. A bitch will be able to watch me, you know what I mean, get down in that fashion. If I was a boxer, you know what I mean, bitch would be able to come to the gym, you know what I mean. I would, I'm saying, get her out to the fights and shit in Vegas and shit when I'm fighting and shit. Even if I was fighting on the undercard, it was just the fact, hey, bitch, I got 100,000 for this fight. I want you sitting out here, you know what I'm saying, watch your man, you know what I mean, do what I do, what I do best or whatever, you know what I mean. Well, it's the same way with me, you know what I'm saying. Speaking is what I do. So I let a bitch, you know what I'm saying, come in and, you know what I mean, what my brothers in San Diego say, get a bar. Anyway, man, but today, man, what I want to talk about in this promo joint, and this is, y'all usually get the promo sample of what I'm gonna talk about in the class, you know what I mean? I'm gonna talk about the different years, okay, the different levels to, you know what I mean, getting your, you know what I'm saying, getting your million on. And I think we gonna probably only make it to in this particular class up to, like the six figures. We ain't gonna go to the whole seven, because that's a whole different zip up bag. That's a whole different life change, man. But you can get from where you are to five figures, like damn near with who you are right now, without the extra growth. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to stretch a little bit to get to six figures, but to get to seven, you're gonna stretch a whole lot. You know what I mean? And that's that. I can't tell you about eight figures, nigga. I ain't even cracked that yet, so I can't tell you about that at all. But I done cracked seven a couple times, man. Don't want to say I have it today, nigga, because I don't, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That was when I was in the streets. You dig? I'm still chasing it in business, but anyway, and part of that is my passion for it. You know what I mean? When I was in the streets, the passion was a little different. I still ain't got that same passion for business that I have for pimping it. It ain't the same. I even had a passion for gang life, and it wasn't for gang banging, like fighting and shit. It was just for the togetherness, man. It made me into the leader I am today. You dig? All right, but anyway, so dig this here. You got at the beginning, man, you got your learning years, okay? I usually say that this is, when you talking about, because, when you a street guy, man, it's like I got a bunch of chapstick on around this motherfucker, but I don't want to see a hoe and got a motherfucking, what you call it, what do you call this shit, chap lips either. You dig? Here, let me slow down for they give me another ticket around this bitch. Damn, I gotta take that hoe to go pay her ticket. Anyway, so yeah, your first years is the learning years, you know what I'm saying? I relay everything back to my years as a pimp nigga because that was the only experience I really had in life, you know what I mean? Young gang member, pimp nigga, and then retiring from the streets and getting me a sales company going, you know what I mean? That's the bulk of my life, nigga. I don't have a whole gang of other experience, man. But, anything that you spent your career in, man, you can kind of juxtapose that to any other life that you're trying to get understanding for. It helps you understand shit a little quicker, you know what I mean? Because you can, play it back, you know what I mean? So anyway, man, in my pimp life, man, it was, from about 16 to about 23. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe like 21-ish was like my learning years. You know what I mean? Which I was learning and practicing. That's a part of learning, man. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna separate those 2 years, for you. But at the beginning, you just learning. So say 14 years old, I was starting to, learn. Hey, man, this might be what I want to do. Let me go ahead and get myself situated. Let me get my shit in order. I'm gonna meet this bitch up here, man. But I know another little bitch that live in this area, man. So I'm gonna hit her to, to catch up with us too, just in case. It makes shit easier sometime in bulk, man. When a bitch is choosing, another bitch is choosing at that same time. She gonna make her choose, or she gonna make her choose. You know what I mean? However it go. All right, but anyway, or they can both stall each other out, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You can be embarrassed in that situation. That's one of them advanced techniques, man. You know what I mean? I have two bitches meeting at the same time when you first meeting up with the first bitch. But the other bitch done seen me in person before. She just, was kind of jiving, always on the go. You know what I mean? So she ain't never kicked it with me. You know what I mean? She be kind of scary. But anyway, at 14, I was learning. I wasn't practicing while I was learning. You know what I'm saying? I was just learning. I was reading everything I can get my hands on, watching everything I can get my hands on, buying different courses that I thought might help me later on, buying different videos and all types. I've always been a nigga that was into learning, man. Even when I didn't know that learning was my bag. I didn't know that that would give me a leg up on the competition. I didn't know that would give me something that the rest of the niggas might not have been able to do. I was just always a learned ass nigga. I didn't want to, ever get into life and then struggle my way through it. I guess that was the big fear for me, which was to, to go through this struggle that, everybody else seemed to be okay with, where you stuck in the streets for 20 years and you're old nigga at 40 something, and you still hadn't quite figured it out. You know what I mean? Kids ain't still got a guaranteed place to stay. Whatever the fuck it is, you still going to prison at that age and shit. I kind of was what came into the life thinking about that. I had the end in mind. You know what I mean? The end result in mind when I came into it, and I didn't do it perfect. Days, you know what I mean? And I still plan on being way further than I am today. So that's just a part of life, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Real life, you get, what you get the stats, you get. You know what I mean? You don't get all the stats that you want. You get the stats you get. You dig? Which ones you are willing to work for and fight for and all that kind of shit. So anyway, what happened was at about 14, I was like, man, I gotta start studying hardcore. You know what I mean? I can't just wish about the life that I want, man. I got to start doing something. So at 16, I got out. I was still learning, but I was learning plus practicing, man. Okay, I would practice at home before I got on the court, but I would get out and we would be fucking with bitches and doing everything that I was doing as a young player at 16. 17. You know what I mean? 18, I had a lot more time to practice because 18, I graduated high school, right? If you niggas that ain't graduated high school, man, and for the hoes that ain't graduated high school, man, go get your GED, man. You know what I mean? Or go, get your diploma, man. Ain't no excuse, man. You dig? There is no excuse, man. You don't want to miss that first. That's the very first milestone in your life, man. And if you start slipping on that milestone, you may not ever get any of the other milestones. You know what I mean? So graduating was just, a regular thing. Now I know some people was in a tough situation where they couldn't, really, graduate. The police is out this motherfucker, you dig? But that's why I'm in this car. Some people been through different shit where they got kids and shit. I guess my mom had me, right? And at 18, so she had to drop out real quick and then go back, night classes or whatever the fuck she had to do to go get her diploma. You dig? And I followed suit. I did, the same thing. I had to get my shit together. I had to get my motherfucking my diploma. You dig? I want to say that Cornerstone is the place to go through, but then you're gonna find people, who probably ain't did much of nothing or want to hate on you doing something that tell you they not accredited this or that. Man, don't worry about all that. Just get your motherfucking, diploma, man. Get yourself a GED. Cornerstone is like, I think they mail it out to you. You take the test, mail it back in. You know what I mean? You pass and all that, you get your, your diploma, nigga. So, you know what I mean? What up, though? You dig? So Cornerstone is that kind of thing, man. You know what I'm saying? And don't miss that opportunity to get your motherfucking ass a degree, man. I mean, not a degree, but just to get your diploma or get your GED or something, nigga. You'd be surprised at the niggas that flunk out of my school, and you find out later them niggas gave up on even high school. You know what I mean? They ain't get they GED and shit. You know what I mean? So don't start off with that lack of confidence, man. Give yourself that confidence. You dig? Top of the morning, baby. What up, though? Give yourself that bit of confidence getting your diploma, man. Anyway, when I got my diploma, I got out of high school. I used to pimp at night. You know what I mean? And I wasn't doing a great job pimping either back then when I first started. You know what I mean? But I would pimp at night and I would go to school during the day. You know what I mean? And I graduated. Now I could do it day and night. I could work, the full shift, And that's when I started practicing and learning, okay? Once I was able to work the full shift, I was able to see where my ambition was really at, where my work, level, my work ethic and everything was at. You know what I mean? Because, before that, you got to go to high school. And yeah, there's some work ethic in sticking with high school. There's some discipline there. But I didn't know that would give me enough to make it to be rich out in the world, right? So I can recall, man, if I remember correctly, man, I was hanging around a boss player at 18. My cousin was a boss player, my older cousin, my fat cousin, if y'all listen to my life story audio book. But my fat cousin was a boss player, and I'm hanging around him. And, he just had a bunch going on. He would have a couple hoes, but, he had a bunch of other shit going on. So I'm seeing the life from that perspective. I'm like, okay, this is probably, this nigga's having some money, $10,000 to $15,000 at a time. So I want to get my shit together to hit the ground running in life. So, I hang around the nigga that I could hang around that was getting the most money. At the time, I'm in Atlanta. I graduated high school in College Park and shit. So, anyway, man, while we fucking around, I'm pimping, but I'm still not pimping like Iceberg Slim was talking about. Hold yourself to a certain standard. Also, that's another step in learning and your practicing years. You know what I mean? Is hold yourself to a certain standard. You dig? There's a certain standard that's gonna come with this life. Okay, that certain standard, man. For me, I seen in Iceberg's book and in Street Players. You understand me? Those are the first places I seen the standard. Then later on, I seen the standard a little deeper, in having Rosebud as a mentor, and then even deeper, when I was out there living amongst Jimmy Star and all them Bay Area players. But anyway, at the beginning, my milestone was in Street Players. They talk about, Horse Son, they talk about it too. He said, man, how he went and got him a watch and a diamond pinky ring. You know what I mean? And suits. He started wearing suits like the other players, the grown-up players. And he said that, the guy that he had met, the guy named was Ray, he met, took him to go get him a pinky ring. And bought himself a watch to go with the pinky ring. And you know what I mean? And he was already wearing suits every day. So, I knew that's how I was supposed to look. When I first got out in the streets in the 90s, man, everybody was wearing suits. In the late 90s, everybody was wearing suits. By the time it was like 2001, after I graduated or whatever, you rarely seen niggas in suits. It was like a whole different game because they did a RICO case and they locked up a lot of pimps in the city. And, Atlanta was a pimp's town, man, when I first moved out this way, man, And when they locked everybody up on that RICO, and that was the first time you would hear of niggas getting 30 years and 40 years and shit like that. I think it shook most of the game, and a lot of the niggas with no heart and no balls was saying that they didn't want to look like pimps, like that was gonna spare them from the case, I guess, because they look like bums, and you know what I mean. It may have made the feds or whoever was watching overlook them for a quick minute, but in reality, when you do go to prison, now you spent all your life in the streets as a bum looking nigga. Who want to live like that, but I didn't, but I didn't do nothing about it yet. I was just learning still, okay? I'm practicing and learning too, because remember I told you I didn't even get to shopping really. I bumped a little white bitch over at that little joint that I'm passing by right here. But anyway, so what happened was, man, I didn't start shopping yet, but I'm noticing the need to shop. I seen it in Horson, right? When Horson got knocked for the nigga New York, Horson watch had 1 row of diamonds around it. You dig? And New York had 2 rows of diamonds and a cluster of diamonds in the middle. You know what I mean? So that I'm gonna read your question in 1 minute. So that let me know, you know what I mean, that the quality of diamonds mattered, the quality of the jewelry mattered. You know what I'm saying? You have big nigga jewelry or small nigga jewelry. I didn't know it for sure, but that planted the seed. But I didn't know it for sure. You know what I'm saying? It was later on when I was up at a players party up at Jimmy's, where you know what I mean. It really sunk in. You know what I mean? It was like a big boulder fell on my head at that point, because the niggas in the party made fun of the little rings that I had at that time. You know what I mean? And that changed my life, my thinking forever on what was pimp nigga jewelry. That's how you learn a lot of times. You don't want to be the butt of a joke. You know what I mean? But a lot of times that's how you learn. The second time I seen it was when they were talking about. Now remember, the same nigga wrote Horson is the same nigga that wrote Street Players. So when he wrote Street Players, he was talking about Earl the Pearl had these nice suits. He said that, man, Earl didn't just have a nice suits. He had the diamond watch. He had the motherfucking diamond ring. You know what I mean? And he had a penthouse. So I was like, okay. And he had a drop top caddy. Horson had a Cadillac too. Even Horson's homie Tony had a Cadillac. All the pimps had Cadillacs, but this is Detroit we talking about, nigga. Yeah, stand me. Detroit, nigga. What I always say, damn, that's my freebase ring. I'm trying to get my Detroit ring. What I reckon, though, you dig Detroit, you understand me, with the old English letters, you understand me. But, every player had Cadillacs, man. And, I'm going to tell you something that one of my big homies said in the documentary just recently, man, if y'all was paying attention. He said, the nigga had to have a new Cadillac every year to be considered a top shelf pimp nigga, you know what I mean? And that was the minimum. That wasn't a top shelf pimp nigga neither. That was a standard pimp nigga. To be a standard nigga, you had to have a new car every year, you know what I mean? And pimps rode Cadillacs. But you seen some niggas that tried to step it up a little bit and get a Jag. My uncle had a Jag when I was coming up, the one that had the bar, okay? But the really big pimp niggas all had Roses. They all had Rolls Royces, you dig? But they had huge jewelry though, you know what I mean? Jewelry was ridiculous. But anyway, so to get out of Street Players, Earl took it to the next level and had a drop top Cadillac. Okay, it's funny, man. It took them 40 years to start making drop top caddies again. Okay, you know what I mean? That ain't something that we were seeing all through the 90s and shit when I got in the streets. You know what I'm saying? It was a part of it in the 70s, I want to say, I believe. You know what I'm saying? They had the Barrettes and all these other, cars, you know what I'm saying? Which they had the Del Caballero and all kind of shit. Anyway, that was nice. But to drop the top, you let God in, you did. I didn't realize that kind of difference in top bought he got the K9s with him. Didn't realize that difference in top bought my first drop top Porsche. Remember, my first Porsche was the truck, and my second one was the drop. And I bought the drop, and I was like, "Oh, my truck ain't really a Porsche like this drop." Anyway, the third book that I seen this in. Now I'm just showing you how often you see this shit and you don't pay attention to it. The third book that I seen it in was now remember I said the second book in Street Players was my favorite all-time book by Donald Goins. Was he had a drop top caddy, so he took it up a notch. Okay, the third time that I seen it was in Iceberg's book. Iceberg over in Chicago, right across the street from Detroit, right across the water. You understand me? Iceberg said that when he first got to Chicago, from wherever the fuck he had left in Indiana, some fucking where, some Rockford, Illinois, wherever the fuck he was at. You know what I mean? I can't think of it right now, but he was in a small town. He come out of Bigfoot country, as they call it, and he went over to the big city of Chicago. He said that he sat down to go get his shoes shined, right? And he knew about shining shoes and shit like that because he was shining shoes back in his mom's, beauty salon. You dig? I'm gonna still get to your question, homie. Just give me a minute, man. I'm working my way there. I know I'm gonna have to jump off in a minute, so I want to give y'all some juice real quick before I jump off. This bitch is like probably 10 miles from here. So anyway, the Iceberg said he sat down next to a brother that was reeking with perfume. Okay, now what that mean is he was smelling real good, man. Nigga had on a gang of cologne. He was smelling good. He said, and then he had $500 in threads on him. You know what I'm saying? Meaning he had a $500 suit on. You dig? Gators and shit. And he said, man, that they were sitting, and the dude had his nails done. You dig? So, he said, man, shit, man, like this is a big city. Okay. Iceberg said that right before that, he was saying that he was talking to some guy that was a hell of a pimp back when he was growing up. Nigga ended up being a junkie at the time. You know what I mean? He got hooked on that boy. You dig? And he was saying that when before he got hooked on boy, that he used to shine the nigga's shoes. This is how we knew Iceberg shined shoes before. He said Iceberg used to shine his shoes back in that little town in Illinois. Well, what's happening is this here. He said, damn, the guy used to be a sleek Valentino looking nigga. You know what I'm saying? Rudolph Valentino, was like the ladies' man at that time. And Errol Flynn, they were like the ladies' man. Fred Astaire was the dancing ladies' man. You know what I mean? Back then in the movies before they had the huge black stars, everybody admired these huge white stars. You dig? But so anyway, he was sleek, and you know what I'm saying? He had a gang of bitches, And so what happened was he came to town, and you know the story. Sweets trimmed him for the crew, for the whole crew too. That hell of a knock. So you got to be a big time players make big time knocks like that. They don't knock you just once. They come back and get you over and over and over again, or they knock you for several at one time. You know what I mean? Shout out to my little brother in Detroit that knocked some nigga recently for two, and the nigga say, "Which one you got?" I got both of them. He said, "What? Oh, this shit don't sound right. We gotta meet up. We gotta talk." You did. So shout out to the niggas that don't know. If you got a shaky bitch, you better have her away from the other bitch. That way you don't blow both at one time. But anyway, he said he was sitting next to Pretty Preston, and Pretty Preston was like, "Nigga, you gotta have front and flash to make it in this town, nigga. You know what I'm saying? The boot blacks got hogs, nigga. You know what I'm saying? He say, man, everybody had a Cadillac. You know what I'm saying? That was just the thing, Well, the next thing that Iceberg said, after the nails being done, the suit, you understand, the $500 outfit, you know what I'm saying? And then everybody had to have a hog, right? After that, you know what I'm saying? He was sitting next to the guy, the little nail, the nigga that had his nails did, and they was getting their shoes shined, right? He saying what he said was the greatest pimp in the world. And, so Sweets pulled up in the Duesenberg. You know what I'm saying? Duesenberg was an exotic car back then. You know what I mean? They had the commercials. It's a doozy. You know what I mean? So, Sweets was on this next level. You understand me? Clothes, you know what I'm saying? Immaculate. You know what I'm saying? Jewelry, immaculate. You know what I'm saying? All this shit, but he had the Duesenberg. And he had a crew. You know what I'm saying? He was famous around the city having 20 hoes. You understand me? That was the standard. Okay? So I'm seeing a difference in standards now. Okay? You seeing Earl the Pearl and street players, had 4 and 5 bitches, and he got a drop top caddy, penthouse. I'm saying his bottom bitch had a house, you know what I mean? He's staying in the penthouse downtown and everything, right? I almost bought that car, man, when I bought my bitch this car. Anyway, so what happened was now you seeing it on another level in Iceberg's joint, okay? And then, when he couldn't cut in the Sweets right off, he seen the second way in was through a nigga that was a boss player that had a Cadillac. This nigga had a apartment, but he turned into a luxury apartment because he rented both of them next door to each other. I seen a madam do this in real life too. I didn't see the bitch do it, but she had a little whole house that she had knocked down a wall in between. She turned 3 apartments into one, big apartment. And I don't know how she got, the plug in to be able to do it that way, but I just seen a bit, seeing the joint because I used to drop my bitch off there at the time. But anyway, He said the nigga Glass Top had the 2 apartments that he turned into 1. And he was like, man, I got 5 hoes here, you know what I mean? And the front flash, you can't pimp out here unless you got it. You know what I mean? So he was having jewelry and some bad bitches and even cultivated his bitch's hair and some old shit. You know what I mean? So it was like you hearing all this shit, but you don't really know where to put this shit because nobody around you has the shit that they talking about in these books yet. We didn't even get to the best part. My favorite part of Iceberg's book is right before Iceberg became the pimp that he ended up, become getting the run that not right before his run started. Right, he was up on Sweet's balcony. Okay, I came up there with Glass Top under the pretense that he was about to learn from Sweets, but he didn't want Sweet to know whatever. You know what I mean? You know all the particulars in the story. He out on the balcony and he asking God to, to bless him, you know what I mean? So he can, really figure this shit out and do it the right way. He said that by the time he looked in, there was a player from New York, man, that had a 4-carat diamond ring on, you know what I'm saying, with the VVS diamonds, you dig, yeah, if y'all niggas ain't know, I got the VVS in both ears, you dig. Probably didn't clean the motherfuckers, man, because I be always having to clean my jewelry, and I never do neither. You know what I mean? It's funny that Anyway, I get into that another time. But he said it was flashing. You know what I'm saying? Red, blue, orange waterworks. You know what I mean? On the guy's pinky ring. You understand me? And he had bad hoes with him. It's the way he describes it is cold. But you got to be cold to live at that level as well. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me text this bitch that I'm pulling up. Hold on for a minute. The bitch saying she here too. All right. Anyway, man, let me answer this question real quick. So the brother don't think I blew him off. This killer, what up, though? Do you think in today's social media world it's better to be a mystery or to be an open book? A nigga that's a player, man, if he gonna have some deep game, he got to be both. Okay, his real game always has to be a mystery. So when I get on here, I know what I'm not about to teach. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it has to be an open book as far as it has to appear to be an open book. Let me say that. It has to be an open book as far as you are promoting, yourself as being successful at something, and you know not to fake it. You know what I'm saying? Because that don't get a nigga nowhere. Okay, but yeah, you have to appear to be open to a certain extent about something. Okay, you know what I mean? If you are not even appearing to be open, it's kind of hard to maneuver, you know what I mean? It's hard to get a bitch to hear about you, to see about you. You got to be out on every track in every city and, all that kind of shit. You know what I mean? So, don't ever, I'm gonna call the bitch to the car. I ain't gonna let y'all see the bitch and all that. You know why I don't never let niggas see the bitch? Just in case niggas be wondering, because I be having some fine hoes. But the detectives on the internet and the stalkers that you get and all that kind of shit that be kind of threatening the lifestyle because they ain't really living it. You know what I mean? Like some bitch was at one of my bitches, and when it didn't work out for her to be able to meet up with me because she didn't come correct. You got it? Okay. Yeah, one of the bitches said, I'm calling the police on y'all. I was shocked when my bitch sent me the screenshot, you know what I mean? And I was gonna pull up and fuck with this bitch. I just had to, let her, go through one of my bitches to get vetted first, you know what I mean? I didn't want to just, meet up with just any old bitch about any old thing, you know what I mean? So that's how that go. But I mean, yeah, man, the internet can make it a little hard to maintain the lifestyle in a real way, okay? So you can't let them see everything. You can't ever afford to be an open book, so to speak. You understand? Because you can find yourself bumping into some. I want to park over here. No, I'm gonna just tell this bitch to come outside. You dig? Here, hold on for a quick minute. Let me back in here. But yeah, man. Here, hold on. I'm gonna have to tuck my motherfucking shirt in and everything. You know, look presentable. You know, some little nigga next to me is rolling up spliff. You know what I mean? Here, let me tell this bitch, come on out. You know. Oh, there she on the other. These hoes don't listen. All right, let me. Oh, this is a little back right here. Hold on for a minute. Let me see. Hey, excuse me. Excuse me. You never know if they with somebody and shit, so you just never know. I did not know that this bitch was gonna tell me that she gonna be at the other place, which the other place is a better place to park anyway. I should have got that little peck right there. I shouldn't have just blew that off trying to get over here with this bitch. But you know the bitch is the person I'm supposed to be over here meeting. You did. Or I could park and tuck my shirt in real quick. Hold on for a minute. Sorry about that, man. Y'all niggas need to always keep y'all some what y'all it in your trunk. Some mouthwash in the trunk, you know what I mean? Because when you getting up on somebody, you know what I mean, you don't never want it to be where you slipping. You dig? All right, let me tell this bitch come on. You know what I'm saying? Come on over. Yeah, I pulled in over here when I first pulled in here because this is the normal place that I pull over and park. But I told the bitch to meet me at the motherfucking little joint over there. You know, but let's see. Or maybe I didn't tell her which place to meet me at. You know what I mean? I would have sweated that bitch too. You know what I mean? All right, now let me see where this bitch is at. You know what I mean? Let's see.
Hello?
Where you at?
Right behind you.
Well, if you right behind me, then walk your fine ass over. You did. All right, hold on. Where's this bitch at? You did. I'm gonna jump off with y'all in a minute, but yeah, man, don't never be a completely open book. What the fuck is the bitch? Don't ever be a completely open book, man, because you know the internet. I'm gonna take it back to what one of my brothers out of Chicago said, man. My brother Maroy said this to me in Las Vegas. He said anything smooth, they hate it and they try to kill it. You know, I don't know why the internet is like that. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm still finishing up. Well, you can water heels and everything, huh? Okay. Here, let me jump off of here real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. It do that too. I got all these different custom things. You know, that's what they taught you in the 80s when they was having court measurements. You want to interpret the you did. Hey man, let me romance this fine ass bitch. I'm gonna get back to y'all on my way back. I might, you know, let y'all on for another promo. But don't ever tell the whole internet the whole story about your life, man. You got to keep it a mystery because they will work to fuck it up. You know what I mean? I don't know why that's the thing, but it is. All right, ready to go in here?